Hi everyone, in this video we will look at how to install Wireshark on Ubuntu 24.04. Wireshark is a free and open source network protocol analyzer that is used to capture, inspect and analyze data packets in real time across a network. Wireshark is widely used for network troubleshooting, security analysis, and also as a valuable education tool for students to understand how different protocols work under the hood. Now, to follow along in this video, you need an instance of Ubuntu 24.04 desktop. As you can see, you also need a sudo user configured and of course a reliable internet connection. Now with that out of the way, let's see how you can install Wireshark on Ubuntu 24.04. Now, there are two ways of installing Wireshark. You can install it from the official Wireshark PPA. Alternatively, you can also install it from the default Ubuntu repository. Now, the first method, which is installing from the PPA, is the most recommended method since it provides the latest version of Wireshark. And this is the first method we are going to start with. So to add the PPA, what you need to do, so just head over to your web browser and search for Wireshark PPA. Go with this first search result here. So I'm going to open this in a new tab and this will direct you to the Wireshark Launchpad PPA page. So here you can see the PPA description. So down below you can see the instructions for adding the PPA to your system. So I'm just going to copy this command. So this command here will add the Wireshark PPA to your system. So I'm going to copy this and run it on my terminal here and hit enter. So here you can see a brief description about the PPA. So to move along, just press enter and we are done. Now, after adding the PPA, you need to refresh the local package index, and to do so, run the command sudo apt update and press enter. So from the output here, you can see now the PPA has been recognized by the system. So now to install Wireshark, run the command sudo apt install Wireshark. So as you can see, you get a flurry of packages that will be installed. Now to proceed, simply type Y on the keyboard and hit enter. So during the installation, you'll find this pop-up here. So this at the bottom here, you can see a notice or a message: should non-super users be able to capture the packets? So by default, this is selected no. So this means that only the root user can capture the packets, but you can decide to select yes. So when you select yes, this allows both the root and the sudo user to capture the packets. So in my case, I want to allow the sudo user to capture the packet. So I'm just going to select yes and hit enter. And the installation is finally complete. Now, one last thing before you launch Wireshark, remember that we selected yes from the pop-up, and this will allow us to capture the packets using the sudo user. Now, what you're going to do, we're going to add the user to the Wireshark group. And to do so, what you need to do is to run the command sudo usermod -ag, then here specify Wireshark as the group, and then you can specify your user, in this case Cherry, or you can also use the environment variable, which is $user. So this refers to the currently logged in user, which should work the same. So I'm gonna hit enter, and then just to confirm this, I'm going to run the command groups Cherry, and then I'm going to search whether it belongs to the Wireshark group like that, and hit enter. So as you can see now, Cherry is part of the Wireshark group. All right. Okay, now let's check the version of Wireshark that we have installed. So we are going to run the command Wireshark --version and hit enter. So this is the output you get on your screen, and from the output you can see we have installed Wireshark version 4.6, which at the time of making this video is the latest version of Wireshark. Now in our next method, I'm going to show you how to install Wireshark from the default Ubuntu repositories. The other way of installing Wireshark is installing it from the default Ubuntu repositories, and this is quite a straightforward method. So what you need to do is to refresh the local package index. So once again, I'm going to run the command sudo apt update and hit enter. So once the local package index has been refreshed, simply install Wireshark by running sudo apt install Wireshark and hit enter. So once again, you'll be prompted to continue. So I'm going to type Y on the keyboard and hit enter. And as you can see, the installation is complete. Now, once again, let's check the version of Wireshark we have installed. So I'm going to run the command Wireshark --version and press enter. So as you can see, this gives us Wireshark version 4.2.2. And like I mentioned previously, this method does not give us the latest version. So if you want the latest version of Wireshark, you need to install it from the Wireshark PPA, as we have seen in our previous method. So that's the second method of installing Wireshark. Now let's see how to launch Wireshark. So see you in the next step. To launch Wireshark, you can choose to do so from the command line or from the application interface. So if you're doing the command line way, all you need to do is to run the command sudo Wireshark and hit enter. Or also you can run it in the background by adding the ampersand sign like that and hit enter. So as you can see, the Wireshark interface comes to view, and this is what we have here. So from here, you can start capturing the packets. All right. So now I'm going to close this out. So that's one way of launching Wireshark. And like I mentioned, you can also use the application interface. So you can click here on this show apps icon at the bottom left corner, and then you can search for Wireshark and you get this icon here. So you can click on this to launch Wireshark. And once again, you get a similar interface like we saw earlier. So those are the two ways of launching Wireshark. Now in our last section, we are going to see how to uninstall Wireshark. Now, like we saw earlier, there are two ways of installing Wireshark, and depending on the method you used, you are going to use different ways of uninstalling it. So first of all, if you used the PPA to install Wireshark, what you need to do is to first of all uninstall the PPA or remove the PPA. So I'm going to copy this command here. So this is the command we used to add the PPA. So in between repository and PPA, you need to add the remove flag like that. So this is going to remove the PPA from your system. So I'm going to hit enter. So to proceed, once again, I'm going to hit enter. So this will remove the PPA from the sources list directory, and we are done. Now, once the PPA has been removed, now you can remove Wireshark by running the command sudo apt remove Wireshark and hit enter. So to proceed, once again, type Y. But before you do so, here you can see there are a number of packages that were automatically installed and are no longer required. So once we remove Wireshark, we also need to remove these packages by running the sudo apt auto remove command. So before we do so, just type Y and hit enter to remove Wireshark. And once that is done, now we can safely run the command sudo apt auto remove. So this will free up your disk space by deleting these files that are no longer needed, and type Y and hit enter to remove these packages. So this will clean up your system. And there you go, we have successfully removed Wireshark. And now to confirm this, I can simply run the command Wireshark version to check its version. So as you can see, you get this error here, no such file or directory, and this implies we have successfully removed Wireshark. If you installed Wireshark from the default Ubuntu repositories, you can uninstall it or remove it by running the command sudo apt remove with the purge option and then Wireshark. So the purge option here will remove everything, including the configuration files associated with Wireshark. So here I'm gonna press enter, and when prompted, I'll type Y on the keyboard and hit enter. So just wait a few seconds as the installation progresses, and that is done. Now, as before, you can see we have a bunch of packages here that are taking up disk space. So once again, to remove them, I'll run the command sudo apt auto remove and hit enter. So this will clean up the system, and as you can see, roughly 203 megabytes of disk space will be freed. So once again, I'll type 1 on the keyboard and hit enter. Alright, so now let's check Wireshark version. So I'm going to say Wireshark, then --version and hit enter. As you can see now, there's no such file or directory, and this confirms that Wireshark has successfully been removed. And that's it guys for this video lecture. In this video, we looked at how to install Wireshark on Ubuntu 24.04. We also went a step further and showed you how to uninstall Wireshark in case you don't need it. Now, in case you found this video insightful and useful, please don't forget to leave a like and smash the subscribe button so that you can continue receiving more of these Linux tutorials. So from us is goodbye and see you in the next lecture.